Okay, as everyone's joining us, just a reminder, we are recording this session. You will only get to go to 2 breakout rooms tonight, so I would encourage you to check out the other breakout room that you missed, and that will be recorded. All of those will be posted to the Kansas 4-H website. We'll send out the actual link for that. But if you want to go and explore, it is under events and activities. There is a fair link. There's a county fair link under that. And then there is a link over on the right-hand side of that page that says county fair resources. So the recordings of tonight will be posted there. We will also post the materials that are shared by county agents and by the KDA if there were any materials, as well as the slides that we missed in the opening session. So with that, I'd like to welcome you all to the Premium Sales Breakout Room. I am Kelsey Nordyke. I am the Kansas 4-H Ag Sciences Specialist. I work with all of our agriculture related projects and provide support there. So I am happy to help and serve as a resource to you in your local units. My information is available on our Kansas 4-H website. I work remotely, so I am available via email or cell phone, and all of that is available to you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker for this evening. We have Lacey Noterman, and Lacey is from Haskell County in the Wild West District out in Southwest Kansas. And so Lacey, if you would go ahead and introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do in Haskell County with your premium sale.
Thank you. Well, my name is Lacey Noterman, and I'm with the Wild West Extension District. And my home county has been Haskell County, and I've been here for 13 years. And so I thought this would be the most ideal county to talk about, because we've only been a district for about 3 years now. Our premium sale is ran by our livestock show and sell committee. And our livestock show and sell committee is comprised of 2 representatives from the fair board, 2 representatives from the extension board and or 4-H, 1 representative from the community, and then myself as an ag agent. I'm on the committee as well. However, I'm a non-voting member. And then we also involve our FFA advisors as well. So in our cell, we do follow minimum and maximum weights per species. If the animal is weighing over the max limit, they can sell, but they have to sell at that top weight. So if our top weight was 1450 and the calf weighed 1500, they only will receive money for the 1450. Animals that weigh under our weight limit do not have the opportunity to sell in our livestock sale. However, they do get to exhibit at the county fair still. Our youth have the opportunity to sell 1 animal per species, and we sell market beef, bucket calf, sheep, swine, chickens, and rabbits. And any animal that walks through our livestock sale can no longer come back the following year. And so to help prevent that from happening, we have the chickens and rabbits actually fill out ID forms, which are due around the 1st of June, that include their tattoo numbers and photos. So our sale, I feel, is technically a premium sale. However, we still follow, we still have floor prices and things like that. The youth understand that if their animal walks through that sale ring and that buyer does want to take that animal home, at that point, they have to allow that to happen. But I've been here 13 years and that has not ever happened. Where the youth didn't previously know that that buyer was going to take that animal. So I do find floor buyers for all those species except for the rabbits and the poultry. Those are actually sold strictly on premium dollars. And then the other animals, I do find a floor buyer, and we actually have an open floor bid for a while until 5 p.m. the Wednesday prior to our sale, which is on Friday. The sale is actually bid on a per pound basis. And so if that buyer purchases that animal, they will pay for the premium amount that they bid. If they choose to leave the animal and not take it, then we would subtract the floor amount off of that premium amount, and that is what the buyer would buy. And yes, it's a little confusing. So we do, it's how we've done it for 70 plus years. And so a lot of our buyers already understand how it works. In preparation of the sale, our youth are required to fill out a plan to sell card prior to the 30 minutes following that show, that livestock show. And so myself and our livestock show and sale committee treasurer actually sat down and we do the sale bill. And the sale bill is broke up in a species rotation. And so like this year we'll run beef, swine, sheep, goats, rabbits, chickens, and then the following year the beef would go to the end. We sell our red ribbon animals first, followed by blue, then reserve breed champions, and our champion animals. We have in the past moved our champion animals to the beginning of the sale, and we've moved them to the middle, and we've moved them to the end, and we have not noticed a difference in rotating those animals around. We do hire an auctioneer. Fortunately, we've actually had an auctioneer on our fair board the last couple of years, and so we've lucked on that expense. And we have around 3 to 4 ringmen that take bids and help the kids move their animals in and out of the sale ring as well. On our sale bills, we do print out an example of all that premium minus floor stuff so that our buyers can see that. After the sale, the buyer does have the option to pay directly following the sale. We have clerks there that come in from our local bank that clerk the sale and take care of those buyers that wish to pay. If they do not pay, the livestock show and sale committee will send out an invoice that following week around Monday or Tuesday. And we usually have our money all paid up within 2 months. The buyer would pay the livestock show and sale committee, and then the livestock show and sale committee writes that 4-H or FFA member the check. The floor money, we usually receive that the night the animals go on the truck. And so that floor money is that floor money is once again taken in through the livestock show and sale committee and pushed back out as fast as possible. And that's all I have for Haskell County.
Awesome. Thank you, Lacey. Next up, we have Matt Young from Brown County. Matt's going to share what they do in Northeast Kansas.
Okay, so Matt Young from Brown County. I like to start it off that we are a very low drama, low stress county fair. And I really do mean that. I mean, we really don't have a lot of the drama that a lot of fairs have. So a little bit about our premium sale. We are premium only. There is no floor bid. Everybody takes their animal home or has a place to go with them at the end of the fair. And that's up to the families to figure out. So at the night of the auction, it is just a premium, straightforward bid. We started that during COVID. We had floor bids up until 2020, and then we had trouble getting locker plants and stuff to take the animals. And so we decided to go that way. And also we had a lot of families that year that wanted to take their animals and have them butchered themselves because there was worries about meat shortages and different situations. Our sale normally has about 100 head go through each year. We only sell swine, beef, and sheep and goats, just the 4 species, nothing extra. And each youth is allowed to sell 1 animal in the sale. So if they show all 3 or 4 species, they can only take 1 animal through the sale. We don't have any minimum or maximum weights to be able to sell. As long as it was entered at the fair and you showed it, you can take it through the sale. Same with ribbon placing. There is no minimum ribbon placing to be able to show your or sell your animal through the sale. So kind of to break up what my role in the sale is and what the fair board's role is in this sale. I collect intent to sell cards from all the kids with what animal they plan to take through the sale. We have a date that they're supposed to turn them in by, and then I go around and make sure that the kids that forgot to turn theirs in get them turned in so that everybody's in the sale bill. I make the sale flyer and the sale order, starting with champions and working way down to red ribbon. And then I take that flyer and I have a listserv of all the businesses, previous buyers, bankers in the community that I maintain. And so I send that out so that they all know who's going to be selling at the sale to try to advertise for them. And then we also print about 250 copies of the actual paper flyer to have out at the auction. So the fair board then at the actual auction, they kind of run things from that point. So we use QuickBooks to enter everything for the sale. And I should have mentioned my fair board member that was supposed to be with me. She's a accountant, and so she takes care of all the financial stuff at the sale. But she's a little busy doing everybody's taxes right now to be on the call tonight. But she does a lot of the work at the sale and getting everything entered. And like I said, she uses QuickBooks. She has everybody that's a buyer register ahead of the sale, and they are all put in as businesses. And then as they buy stuff, they get put in as a order or to put on their invoice. And so that way she can print invoices at the night of the sale. As soon as the sale's over, she can print those and people can take them with them if they pay, or they can take them with them and then bring us a check later. The fair board works at collecting all the money. So that from that night, or the businesses that take the invoices home and they pay, they work on doing that. And it takes about 2 weeks for us to collect all of our money after the fair from businesses. And then the fair board prints the checks and they bring them to me. And then at that point, I take the checks and I put in a letter with all the addresses for all their buyers. And then I mail them out to the kids. We also do allow add-ons at our fair. So if you don't want to buy the animal, but you want to add money to certain kids, we allow that to happen before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale. And some of the examples of add-ons we have about 3 large businesses that donate a large amount of money and just tell us to split it amongst all the kids. And so we do that. And then there's some buyers at the sale that have like a little extra money and whatever they were allowed to spend for their business that night, that they just want to donate it at the end of the night to some kids. And then there's other people that they think some kid got shorted or whatever, and they want to add some money after the sale. So we put all that together, print the checks, we mail them out to all the kids. We also have a nice meal at the night of the sale, either pulled pork or pulled, some type of roast beef or something like that. And each returning buyer gets 2 tickets so that they can eat for free that night. And everybody else, it's like $5 or $6 to be able to eat. And so that's kind of a benefit of being a return buyer. Let's see what else. Oh, when we did go to being a premium only auction, we didn't want to leave anybody out. It was just most of the families, they wanted to be able to keep their animals because they thought they could make a little more money, or they wanted to sell it to somebody, or they wanted to butcher it themselves. But we wanted to make sure that nobody was left holding animals that they couldn't get rid of. And so if there is a 4-H'er or a family that cannot find homes for their animal, we do have some order buyers on standby that normally offer a pretty generous amount of money for those animals to help those families out. So let's see. I think that's pretty much everything. I guess I will say our auctioneers, they donate their time. We have about 3 auctioneers that kind of split up the night, and they all donate their time. So that's about it for Brown County.
Thank you, Matt and Lacey. I want to give everybody an opportunity to ask questions. You can feel free to put them in the chat, or if you want to unmute to ask, that is fine too. We don't have to go into our main session again until 8:45, so we have a little bit of time. And if you are someone who has some great ideas from your local unit that you'd like to share, feel free to share those as well. I will share that in our earlier session, the question was asked if anyone requires the 1099s or has the 1099s for their 4-Hers. So if there is someone who does do that, we didn't have anyone in the last session, but if there is someone who does, if you would like to share, we would welcome your information. And I will tell you also that we are getting that information ready to go out to counties as well, so that you can be better informed. Any questions or comments? This is a quiet group.
So does that mean we did such a good job explaining what we do that you guys are just blown away, or you don't think we're worth asking questions of? Which way is it? You can be honest with me.
I think you did a great job.
Matt, this is Andrea in Ford County. I want to know where I can find this low stress fair thing you talk about.
Well, we're being recorded, but maybe stay away from Southwest Kansas. I don't know.
Thank you for the advice.
Anytime. But honestly, I am being honest. Brown County is a very calm county compared to a lot. I mean, the families get along pretty well with each other, and we're not a highly competitive county at our county fair, which brings the stress level down. So it is kind of a really nice working environment.
Matt, I have a question for you
Okay.
about your add-ons.
Mhm.
So in Haskell County, we have add-ons as well, and I have not said anything about it because it's a big topic, I feel like, and they wanted to, I don't know, it's a big part of our sell. So you said that you've only been doing the add-ons for a couple of years?
Probably about 5.
Yeah. So in Haskell County, when I first got here, like add-ons are sacred here, sacred. And I always thought, well, I came from a county where there was no add-ons, and I thought, are these add-ons taken away from our buyers? And the first time I asked it was the last time I will ever ask it again. That's how well it went over. But I'm just wondering, how are you? I mean, do you feel like it's taken away from your livestock buyers?
It is in some ways. Honestly, the way it got started was we had a large cooperative, ag cooperative, that didn't want to bid on animals anymore. And so they said, if we just send you a $10,000 check to split amongst all the kids, would you do it? And it's like, you know, or we're not coming to the fair. I mean, we're just, because it's not, all it does is cause problems for us, because we buy this kid and then we don't buy that kid. And we're causing more issues for our company than we are helping. And so we didn't want to give up that money coming to our sale. And so we're like, sure, we'll take it. And then the next step was businesses that came with, you know, $5,000 that they were allowed to spend that night. And they had $300-400 left at the end of the night. And they're like, well, we were approved to give this to the fair. You know, why don't you add it to this kid that didn't get as much, or that kid that didn't get as much? Just use up the money we were allocated to spend tonight. So then we started doing that. Well, then it's just evolved over time to where lots of people are giving it now. And so
do you guys set up we have a problem with those people paying add-ons continuously until almost November. And it's sometimes terrible, like, you know, because it's always been happening for years and years and years. And so there are those few that we know that will add on that haven't added on because they went on vacation directly after county fair. And so 2 months later, they come walking through the office and want to add on to our 4-Hers. Do you put some sort of deadline on your acceptance of those add-ons, or
We
Did
have
you
2
just
weeks.
know to pay?
We have 2 weeks. And so our fair is the first full week of July, which is a fairly early fair. Then we give 2 weeks, and then we have a week to get everything ready, and we get the checks out to the kids the 1st of August.
So when you guys are sharing about add-ons, are your add-ons across all of the 4-Hers in the sale? Or are you talking, I'm gonna give $100 to Kennedy Holcomb and I'm gonna give $200 to Coy Holcomb? And those are the only 2 I want to add on. Tell us a little bit about how the add-ons are done in your county, because our local county has, usually we have someone who contacts us and says, I want to pay all of the commission for every 4-Her going through the sale. And we have another one who contacted, when I was an agent, contacted me several years in a row and said, hey, we want to contribute to all the 4-Hers. We have $3,000. Do with it what you want. And so that would be split among all the 4-Hers that went through the sale. So in Cowley County, they don't do add-ons per se, unless it's across the board.
In Haskell County, they can add on to each individual 4-Her. So it's kind of funny because some businesses will they'll add on, you know, $200 to every sibling, and then one sibling they might give $500 to. And so they can add on whatever amount to whatever kid they'd like. But we do have a lot of businesses like what Matt mentioned before that just want to write a check and say equally distribute it amongst all the kids that sell livestock. Or sometimes I'll have people that come in and just add on to the beef kids versus all the kids. And but that's, you know, Matt, when you were talking about it earlier, where you said that the businesses aren't coming to the sale because they offend one of their customers by not buying their animal versus this kid's animal. And so a lot of our businesses have gone to this add-on aspect versus buying an individual animal at the livestock sale.
I've had a couple people do that, don't want to buy or whatever. I just said donate it to 4-H Council and stick it in there instead of splitting it about through auction stuff. And that's helped 4-H Council stay afloat sometimes. And kids kind of universally like it because it's a little less time they have to spend doing fundraisers. So
That's a great note. Thank you, Aaron. I know in Cowley, so I was an agent in Cowley County for almost 17 years. And so that's my local unit experience that I share. And our fair board did not allow add-ons that weren't, like I said, that weren't to everybody. So we did have occasionally businesses or individuals that wanted to support just one kid. And so we would encourage them just to write that check directly to that 4-Her. So that is an option if your fair board does not allow add-ons. And there are mixed feelings, I think, among agents and families and fair boards about whether or not those should be allowed. And there's lots of different processes.
And we were actually getting add-ons before we even realized we were getting them. Because I've been here 15 years. So, I mean, when I started, we were not doing add-ons. And like, say the Grand Champion steer would go for $5,000 and we'd get 2 checks in the mail. $2,500 from the business and $2,500 from grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Well, clearly that business did not buy the whole thing. Half of that was an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
But through the ring, it said that it was all from the business. So that was technically an add-on before we really started it saying it was an add-on. The other thing we had a bank that was sending checks directly to kids and not even going through our sale. And so we're not supposed to give those addresses out, and we weren't. They were customers' kids, so they already had the addresses. But then there was other people trying to make their sale prices look better because, you know, they were afraid they weren't getting as much, not realizing they were getting a check directly from their bank. And so it was easier for it to all come through the fair board. And so that it was all recorded instead of those kids actually getting more because their bank was giving checks directly. I mean, there's nothing fair about the premium sale at any county fair. I mean, there's so many factors that go into it. It is not a fair process, but trying to manage it is all we can do.
Another thing we did here that, you know, I've only been through 2 county fairs, but it's an interesting thing. Sell our grands first, no ceiling on the grands. Your reserves can't sell for more than the grands. Your blues can't sell for more than reserve. Reds can't sell for more than the average of the blues. Makes the sale go fast because a lot of times it's just hands raised up once they hit the ceiling. But then you don't have that, you know, red ribbon animal who's from a kid whose parents do a lot of business and it ends up selling for more than the champion. Actually, I think it takes some pressure off our businesses to not have to do that. They can buy more animals if they have that kind of budget or whatever. And actually our ringmen get a little more of a workout because they're trying to spread it around to people that want to buy instead of letting one person buy 6 or 8 head. They kind of spread it around when we are low on numbers. Just another option that I thought was pretty neat when I got here.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. And just to confirm for everybody else, you're in Rawlins County, correct? Up in Northwest Kansas?
Correct.
Thank you. Anybody else? We've got about 1 minute left and then Lexi's going to pull us back into the main room. Okay. Well, once again, I want to thank Lacey and Matt for sharing with us this evening. Be sure to check out the recordings. We will send the link out to everybody so you know where to go on the Kansas 4-H website to find all of the materials. If you do want to do a little bit of searching between now and then, you can check out the 2020 recordings from these webinars, and they also would have some useful information for you there as well.